Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Lucid shares are off to a hot start this month. They're up nearly 20% since July 1st. The shares are rallying after the EV startup announced second quarter deliveries and production targets above expectations. Joining us now, I'm pleased to say, live from the Bank of America Breakthrough Technology Dialogue is Lucid CEO and CTO Peter Rawlinson with Bloomberg's Tom Mackenzie. Tom.
Danny, thank you. It's very timely, actually, because the Festival of Speed is happening as we speak as well. So a lot of auto heads, a lot of petrol heads here, but we're not talking about petrol, we're talking about EVs. And as you say, the CEO of Lucid joining me now, which is a fantastic conversation. We hope. Danny, I'm going to bring you that now. Peter Rawlinson, the CEO, of course, of Lucid. Let's start then with the production delivery numbers. As Danny was saying, stronger than the markets expected. The shares have had a lift on the back of this. And we compare that as well. We bring in the Tesla story because they've come in with slightly better numbers as well in recent days. Is this a sign that the EV market is starting to turn around, Peter?
It certainly is for us. We're up 70% quarter on quarter with a record delivery in Q2 on the back of another record delivery in Q1. Things are looking up. And I think more people are getting the message that we have an extraordinary product in Lucid Air. And everyone's also looking forward to our new SUV, the Gravity, which is coming later this year.
Well, give us an update on the Gravity, because I know analysts are looking at that as well. And they know that they see that as consequential, really consequential for your story longer term. So the Gravity SUV, is production on track? What is the time frame? What is demand looking like?
It is scheduled for start of production late this year. We're seeing an incredible latent demand because this is an unprecedented product. It has a range of attributes which really have no right to coexist. It has the driving dynamics superior to a Lamborghini Urus. It has the presence and stance of a Range Rover. It has more interior space than an Escalade, and yet it is only slightly smaller on the outside than our Lucid Air. It's a 7-seat, 3-row SUV. This is what the market has been waiting for.
Okay, that's a very good sales pitch there, Peter. Talk to us about the margin story, the profitability then. At what point can you start to raise prices for your vehicles and start to push margins out of negative territory?
Well, we've been able to bring successively more attainable products to market, where our range now starts at just $69,900. And we're able to do that because we've got the most advanced technology in the world. Let me explain. We're able to go further with less battery energy than anyone else. I recently announced that we hit the magic 5 miles per kilowatt hour landmark, and we're going to reveal a product which achieves that very soon. We're actually at 4.74 miles per kilowatt hour here today with our pure electric vehicle. Now, that pure variant has a range of 419 miles, more range than anyone else in the marketplace, but it does it with just an 88 kilowatt hour battery pack, and that makes it the most sustainable vehicle on the market today. Any journey you take, that car uses less electricity to go from A to B than anything else in the world today that's on the mass market.
Okay.
And that means we can have less minerals, less dependence upon mines around the world, less dependence upon sources of lithium, nickel, cobalt. And this is what the world needs. More efficient, more energy efficient, and more high-tech EVs. And Lucid is leading the way in this respect.
Okay, 5 miles per kilowatt hour, as you say, a magic number, a landmark number, as you've described it. You are, of course, backed by Saudi Arabia, the public investment fund of Saudi Arabia, to the tune of about $6.4 billion US dollars. Is it fair to assume that you're going to need to raise a similar amount, around the $6 billion level, to push forward into the future? Is that about an appropriate number to be thinking about in terms of future funding?
We haven't guided on the actual quantum, but let me tell you, this is a capital-intensive business, and we do need to raise more money, and we will at opportune moments in time on the future. Our vision is to be a major player here. The SUV this year, and we've got the mid-size platform coming late 26, and that's going to be a high-volume vehicle, mass-produced both in the US and in Saudi Arabia.
And you've talked about being in this for the long run with the PIF, with Saudi Arabia. Is there a line that they draw somewhere, Peter, where they say, okay, this is enough?
Look, they're the perfect long-term partners. We share a long-term vision, and we're mutually incentivized for success. They want this as much as I do. Watch this space. They're in for the long term. And this transcends a mere financial investment. We are a cornerstone of them realizing their bold Vision 2030, where they transition their quintessential fossil fuel economy to an environmentally sustainable economy.
Okay. When you say watch this space, something's going off in my mind suggesting that maybe they're going to come through with another check soon from the Saudis for the business. Talk to me about the deal you did with Aston Martin, because it's interesting. So you've licensed some of your technology to Aston Martin. Talk to us about the consequences. They have delayed their EV. Does that have an impact on that deal? Does it have an impact on Lucid?
Very mildly. But the deal is very strong. It secures them high-tech electric technology for the next decade. We're supplying them with modules for the battery pack, our Wonderbox two-way charging technology, and our Sapphire drive units. These are the world's finest drive units, and it's appropriate that Aston Martin gets the really top-end stuff from our range, the hypercar high performance. If you look at the future, though, it gets a lot more exciting.
Were you disappointed that they delayed their EV?
Well, absolutely. Any delay in any EV is less than ideal, but it's going to come, and we have secured their electric hypercar future for the next decade.
Is that a template for other licensing
Absolutely,
deals?
I hope it is, and it's actually initiated a lot more interest. We are in discussions with others, and when it gets really exciting is you look at the technology that we're developing now for a mid-sized platform for late 26. That really suits mass market family car applications. That's why we're in this. We're not here to be a niche player. Lucid's here to bring down the cost of electric vehicles for the benefit of all and be a major player.
And Rivian doing an interesting deal with Volkswagen.
Indeed.
Investment from VW into Rivian in exchange for some technology.
Yes.
Is that something you would consider, that kind of partnership, that kind of deal?
I'm always interested in partnerships which involve our technology.
Okay. We talked about the Gravity, the SUV, coming online. You talked about production at the end of this year, deliveries next year then. What about manufacturing in Saudi Arabia? That's part of a process outside of Jeddah. You're putting the car together there, but in terms of full-term manufacturing in Saudi Arabia, when does that come online, and what is the challenge in Saudi Arabia? Is there a challenge around talent?
There's always a challenge around talent, because as a company, we're only as good as the brainpower that we can attract. No company in its own right has experience. It's only the brilliance of the employees that represent the capability of a company. But we already have the very first car plant operating in Saudi Arabia. Right this moment it is running, and that is a kit assembly plant on a very modest scale. We are actually laying the foundations for our major plant, which will be scaled for 150,000 unit capacity per annum as we speak, and that is scheduled to be ready for production late 26, where we'll put our mid-size vehicle into that plant.
Okay, Peter Rawlinson, thank you very much indeed, CTO and CEO of Lucid, on not wanting to be a niche brand within EVs and hitting that 5 mile per kilowatt in terms of the range for their vehicles. Looking ahead, of course, to the SUV as well, the Gravity.